Hi everybody, Adam here. Welcome back to our Lego room. Today we are taking a look at the final 3 instruction sets from the 8 instruction set series that Jepaz on Rebrickable released for the building of an awesome Lego Sawmill compound. The 3 instruction sets that we're taking a look at today are for the planning shed, the company office, and the sawmill itself at the heart of this incredible complex. I'm a huge fan of the work that Jepaz does. I have a number of his instruction sets built and around our layout here in the Lego room, and a whole bunch more in the queue to build. And really impressed not only with the various modules across this entire series, but some really interesting aspects in these final 3 modules here. So the final 3 modules that we are looking at today fit into the total of 8 modules that make up this sawmill scene. A really impressive complex, and really appreciate all the effort that Jepaz has gone to create a very representative and diverse scene here that's representing all the different aspects of a sawmill complex. The 3 buildings that we're looking at today, the planning shed, the company office, and then of course the sawmill itself, the very sort of heart and soul of this entire facility here. Really impressed as well that Jepaz has managed to integrate a few railway elements into the facility. We've got a nice rail track on the side here where the logs get dropped off, and then even a couple different tracks over on this side of the build, which house the temporary rail cars that have worker sleep areas, a kitchen area with eating space, in various other sort of temporary buildings that support this sawmill. And if we look over to the right here, we've got a really nice view of what the finished sawmill will look like once all of these different modules come together. Really impressive, a huge footprint overall, and looking forward to seeing how these buildings start to come to life in our layout here. I'm planning on using the masonry bricks, the dark red, sort of brown masonry bricks that I think will look really nice for each of these buildings. And, I think they'll contrast well with the gray rooftops here, and it should just add to a really impressive scene overall. Now let's take a closer look at each of these final 3 modules. So first up here, we've got the planning shed. This particular module in the sawmill facility looks to be roughly 2 mills modules wide by 2 mills modules long. The total number of parts required for it looks to be 4,588, and it's estimating that the used brick build price for this module will be $623. Really love the fact that for the different instruction sets here, Jepaz has broken out the required parts into some different chunks. So if you just want the parts for the buildings themselves, you can order just those. There's also one that allows you to get the Mills module parts in addition to the parts for the facility. And even the vegetation is broken out. So if you want to, depending on what you're looking to purchase here, there's some different part lists that you can use to make it a little easier to just get the bricks that you want based on your needs for putting this facility module together. Really like that flexibility. Nice to have the option there of doing some different things. In terms of the module itself, really love all the different building types that make up the planning shed. One of the first things that catches my eye, really love that we've got the pipes here connecting the different buildings to each other. It's a cool element to see over the top. It looks like we've got a bit of a water tower here for this part of the facility. Love the fact that this covered area here is in a different color than the main buildings. Helps break things up a little bit and just gives some contrast to the colors that make up most of the buildings in the facility. So really appreciate that. And I love the fact that we've got some different sizes and styles of building here. You can see the shed that's attached on this end. Different sort of shape from the main buildings, and it even looks like big fan of the rooftops here as well. A little bit of variety there, but neat to see how we've got the raised structures at the peak area there, and then the main parts of the roof down here. So, just a lot of really neat things that I think go into making up this part of the facility, and some nice differences and, both in building style and in color, like I mentioned, that help to differentiate the different elements within this module, but also help this module stand out when put in combination with the other modules that make up this facility. Next up, we've got the company office. On the layout of the facility, the company office is over here in this back corner, right next to the planning shed. And this particular module looks to have a footprint of roughly 2 Mills modules wide by 1 Mills module long on that axis there. So a relatively small footprint, but again, really cool to see some interesting elements integrated here to differentiate it from other parts of the facility. The total number of parts looks to be 1,713 at an estimated used brick build price of $208. Couple things that stand out for me here. Love the fact that we've got a cool staircase going up the side of the building there to the second floor. Love the sort of wood platform out in front of the building that you can walk along when going into the front door or heading towards that side stairway there. Also love the fact that we've got a bit more landscaping and foliage that makes up this particular module. Big fan of the interesting tree designs that Jeff comes up with for his builds, and cool to see that integrated here. Again, love the fact that you can get, the different parts lists based on what you want to build. If you're just looking at building the structure itself, relatively easy to do that, or, you can include in the bricks needed for the trees and the other landscaping, as well as the Mills module. And then we've got a nice little, assume that's a storage shed just over in the back corner there. But again, nice to see different elements within these builds at different heights and, with different amounts of foliage, different types of foliage. Really helps give each part of the facility its own sort of life and, helps it stand out from some of the other different parts of the sawmill. Now, last but not least, we have the sawmill itself, which is at the very center of the facility. You can see here, this module makes up this center portion of the facility. Really large footprint. And, as you would expect, that leads to roughly 3 Mills modules wide here by 7 Mills modules that way. So 21 Mills modules in total making up this part of the facility. Really massive. Number of parts it uses as a result, 9,530 for an estimated used brick build price of $1,985. This is going to be a massive, massive part of the facility to build, but we'll take a look at how that sort of part price is accumulated across this entire building here and see if there's any efficiencies or ways that we can break that down. But it really is a massive module, and it's impressive to see all the different elements that Jepaz has managed to sort of pack into this part of the facility. Love the fact that half of this module is on the water here. You can see this is how the logs are entering into the facility here from the water. They get to the water via the trains going by and dropping them down into the water. It's really cool to have this element here and to see the structure that supports this building on the water half of the module. Now, other things that really catch my eye, I think it's cool to see the different roof lines that we have here for the different aspects of this building. Neat little overhang here on the side. And I'm assuming these are basically rail tracks used for pushing carts or various things from building to building as, the lumber is processed. So really cool to see, not only the interesting elements across this building itself, but the support elements as well, with the lumber coming in this way, this track area that runs between the buildings. And nice that Jepaz has included a number of trees and other landscaping elements around there as well. Same thing stands for this particular module. You can order just the bricks for the building itself. You can add in the bricks for the landscaping as well as the bricks for the mills modules if you need to. But nice to have the options there. And, this is very much, I think, a great centerpiece for what is going to be a really amazing facility. So awesome work here and really excited about putting this part of the facility together. So overall, super happy with this amazing facility that Jepaz has released instructions for. I think this is going to look absolutely amazing when fully constructed. Not entirely sure the timeline for getting everything ordered and putting this together. It's going to have a really large footprint. I plan on, I expect it would live on the underneath part of our layout that we are starting to build and put together. But this is going to be a bit of a long-term project to work on, both in terms of building all the elements of it, but also trying to get it, integrated in a nice way around the layout. But can't wait to get this built. I think it's going to be truly amazing when it's done, and a lot of interesting opportunities, I think, for integrating this into other layout elements, to get the trains moving in and around the facility, and to have other sort of integrations with other buildings and parts of a layout. So really excited about that. Highly encourage, if you have not already, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our upcoming videos related to the sawmill facility or any of the other cool things that we have planned in the coming months. If you have not checked out Jepaz's Rebrickable, highly recommend doing that. I will include a link below. In addition to this facility, he's got instruction sets for a number of cool train cars, locomotives, and other buildings and landscaping elements that you might be interested in. So definitely check that out. And like I said, looking forward to working on this. We've got a number of Jepaz builds and designs in the queue to be added to the layout in the coming weeks and months. So a lot of cool stuff ahead. And I think this is going to be just another really awesome element to have in our Lego room here and to have at our disposal for taking out to shows as well. So as I mentioned, if you haven't subscribed already, please make sure to do so. And thank you guys for watching. We will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.